Researchers at Columbia University and the University of Pennsylvania have found a statistical link between the number of natural gas wells in the Marcellus Shale and the number of hospital visits. I'm Larry Sauter. This study was widely reported in the news media this summer after it was published in a peer-reviewed journal. Dr. Reynold Panettieri is a medical researcher at the University of Pennsylvania.
So we were very interested in understanding if hydraulic fracturing had a consequence in healthcare utilization.
Dr. Panettieri says the development of the Marcellus Shale provided an opportunity to study the question.
Since Pennsylvania was new to the game and started in 2007, we had the unique opportunity to go back and look at data generated, this would be legacy data, from databases at a time when there was virtually no hydraulic fracturing to a marked increase that we saw in 11.
The study compared 95,000 inpatient hospital records of residents with zip codes in Bradford, Susquehanna, and Wayne counties.
Bradford and Susquehanna had meteoric increases in hydraulic fracturing, while Wayne County, which resides in the Delaware watershed, had a moratorium. So it was a study where Wayne County served as a control.
The chief health concern medical researchers have about drilling activity is air pollution.
And the air pollution could be from diesel exhaust and particulate matter that's prevalent in the trucking industry that brings all the water into the sites, and then the water out and the gas out of the sites.
Another concern is the noise generated by drilling activity.
And the noise could also engender an aberrant stress response in humans that has also been associated with increased cardiovascular risk.
Cardiology was the category of inpatient records most strongly associated with a well count. There's been a decrease in drilling activity in Bradford and Susquehanna counties in 2015. Dr. Panettieri says follow-up studies, when records become available, will be helpful.
Matter of fact, our follow-up studies now will be looking at outpatient visits, for example, also to discriminate the specifics of the hospitalizations. So we have a variety of ongoing studies that will expand our original observations. Your point about the decrease is interesting, because if indeed the stress and or air pollution has been mitigated by the decreased need for gas, then we would hopefully see a decrease in the hospitalization rates.
Between 2011, the last year for which statistics from the Pennsylvania Healthcare Cost Containment Council are available, and last year, there was a dramatic increase in the number of wells.
It's exactly right. As a matter of fact, our moving forward is to look at the epoch from 2011 to 2014, when again the well numbers have just skyrocketed.
There have been changes in drilling technology since hydrofracking began in the Marcellus Shale. Wells are no longer flared. The water is reused.
The steps that you've mentioned are very valuable, I think, and hopefully will have impact. I think moving forward, what we would be excited to see is air monitoring. As you know, in the rural and bucolic areas, there's very few air monitoring devices. As a matter of fact, they're just non-existent except for in some of the cities you mentioned, Scranton. But in the rural areas and near centers of hydraulic fracturing, I think having air monitoring would be incredibly valuable to be sure that the air quality is not being impacted.
Dr. Panettieri says we need to evaluate the cost-benefit ratio of hydrofracking along with the cost-benefit ratio of other energy sources like coal to determine what's best.
Our data doesn't say hydraulic fracturing shouldn't be done. What it does say, if we can find the causative agents, is let's remediate the causative agents to get the best energy source with the least complications. And that's what I really was hoping with our study to at least focus attention, because to date we've ignored any healthcare costs in Pennsylvania. We've looked at the benefits, right, the economic benefits of it, but there's we think, a healthcare cost that needs to be factored.
The United States now leads the world in producing natural gas from shale formations. For WPEL, I'm Larry Sauter.